Good morning. Am I a little louder now? Am I a little louder now? Let me play with some more buttons and let's see what happens. Now, am I on? Yes? There it is. Okay. Just needed to move the mic. I never know where to put it. It changes. Our affirmation this morning is I am shouting yes to life. So everybody give me a yes. Yes. All right. And so let's take that into prayer. So this is an exciting prayer. So we just say yes to life. And we breathe that into every cell in our body, knowing that as we say yes, we open up all the possibilities. As we say yes, indicating our willingness to receive, even more possibilities pouring through. And as we say yes to life, we know that means we are saying yes to the totality. And so for those who are experiencing challenges at this moment, for those who are experiencing disease, those who are experiencing, I would imagine there's some PTSD going on this week. And for those who are learning some of the harder lessons of life, we hold them in love, we hold them in light. And so we breathe into our heart space. And from this space, we start love out to them. With every exhale, we send love out. With every inhale, we bring in the breath of spirit. And we hold space for a better world for all of those who are being challenged. We hold space for better communication. We hold space for peace. We hold space for compassion. We hold space to be able to hear one another and to be able to walk a few steps with someone else on their journey. And we do this with all of the love that comes forth from our heart. And so it is. Amen and yes. Welcome to Unity of Mesa, where we enlighten, empower, and energize one another to uplift the world for a greater expression of God. I am Reverend Judy, along with a few others today. John Groves on platform and meditation. Louise Zinsman, who you met already, is our board member of the day. And Cerise was our musician, and their family is at home with all of them with COVID. So they are in quarantine. They're in quarantine for a couple of more days, though. So we just hold them in prayer for continued healing, and we are blessed and so grateful for Celia, who has come in as a sub at the last minute. Thank you so much, dear one.
Good morning. I drove from Wisconsin to be here. Yeah, different. I think I sang this song last time I was here. What am I hearing? But the title was just so perfect that I felt like it would be great to sing it again. It's called Yes to Life. Let us know just why yes. What you gonna say yes to today? Clearing the pathway for your natural steps. Yes, 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 come on out and play. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to love. I'm saying yes to peace. I'm saying yes to joy. I'm saying yes to possibilities I've yet to see. I'm saying yes to you. I'm saying yes to me. little word can be so powerful. What you gonna say yes to today? Raising the joy, removing obstacles. Yes, it's my favorite way to pray. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to love. I'm saying yes to peace. I'm saying yes to joy. I'm saying yes to possibilities I've yet to see. I'm saying yes to you. I'm saying yes to me. One little word makes all the difference. What you gonna say yes to today? Open your heart and give those fears a rest. Yes is my favorite word to say. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to love. I'm saying yes to peace. I'm saying yes to joy. I'm saying yes to possibilities I've yet to see. I'm saying yes to you. I'm saying yes to me. When I say yes, you say yes, yes, yes. When I say life, you say life, life, life. When I say love, you say love, love, love. I'm saying yes to a life of love. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to love. I'm saying yes to peace. I'm saying yes to joy. I'm saying yes to possibilities I've yet to see. I'm saying yes to you. I'm saying yes to me. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to love. I'm saying yes to peace. I'm saying yes to joy. I'm saying yes to possibilities I've yet to see. I'm saying yes to you. I'm saying yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Morning again. I have to get myself together. We have a few announcements for things you need to know. Next Sunday, we'll be opening up our registration for spirit groups. And this next session, we'll be working with Reverend Paulette Pipe and Touching the Stillness. Registration will be available online. It will give us all a chance to discover and experiment with a wide variety of practices designed to take you out of your head and into your heart, something I can very much take to heart myself. I'm really looking forward to it. I trust you will as well. On September 19, we welcome our youth back to the classroom. This is children in kindergarten through 5th grade and teens, grades 6 through 12 are invited. Please see our website for details, guidelines, and expectations. Nursery, unfortunately, will remain closed at this time. Millennials are invited to participate in their generational service on September 26. See or email Reverend Judy to be part of the service. And another very important announcement. As Reverend Judy explored different ways in which she could be seen in the world, others could hear the importance of what she has to say and her yearning to create transformative experiences for women. In that process, she discovered the art of feminine presence. Within these simple and fun activities, Reverend Judy has discovered a freedom to live her life her own way, experiencing her wholeness and holiness while finding a path of expansiveness. If you are wanting more of any of these types of experiences, you are invited to join Judy and a group of like-minded women in an AFP class starting the last week of September. You can find more information on all these announcements, plus links and much more on our website's Things for You to Know page at unityofmesa.org. And today, being the first Sunday of September, we have a special custom to follow, and that is celebrating people with September birthdays. If you were born this month, I'd ask you to please stand so we may honor you with our birthday song. Are there any people here with September birthdays? Excellent. So let's all join in. Happy birthday to you. There's no one like you, uniquely created. I love knowing you. I bless you with life and abundance galore. God bless you, my loved ones, and have many more. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your love and light with us this morning. Please know that your soul is welcome here. And now, let's share our guiding statement to remind us why we come together. Say with me, we are here to experience more of the fullness of who we truly are in order to transform the world. All are welcome here.
I get to. Am I on? Yep. Here we go. Once more. No. We're working on. Here it comes. It's just sleepy this morning, isn't it? So I get to do a mini lesson on World Day of Prayer. Thursday is Unity's World Day of Prayer. It actually started as a class assignment for seminary students before my time. And the story I heard from one of the teachers wasn't very nice, so I'm not going to repeat it. So anyway, it started out of a need for the seminary students to be able to come together and work in peace together. Yeah, in seminary, one of the things that happens is they dig up all your junk. And so there are times, especially about a third of the way through the program, where no one's speaking to anybody because you're so mad at the world because all of your stuff is up and everybody's stuff is up at the same time. And things happen like Bibles get thrown on the floor in the classroom, and just one of those things that shows up when you clear old things that are no longer serving you. Yeah, we're going to play a little with that. Thank you. So, World Day of Prayer is this thing that happens once a year with Unity. And we have done things here from a Wednesday evening service through, I don't know if it was here or my previous church, where we spent the whole night in prayer at the church, and then we were in prayer all day at the church. And given COVID and people's need to not be gathered as often, we're going to have a very limited World Day of Prayer experience here this week. But on our website, there is a link for Unity Worldwide's prayer pieces that they will be participating in and sharing with the world from Unity Village. So you can go in and you can find out what time things are happening and tap in for some extra prayer support with that. And then for us on Thursday morning, we will have chaplains here from 8 till 10. The church will be open. You can come in and hold space for yourself and others, time to have quiet prayer. We are also going to, we're planning on it, I haven't seen them arrive yet, but we're going to have prayer flags, the strip of flags that are peace flags, prayer flags in the Buddhist tradition. So we will have some blank ones that we are going to invite you to write your prayer on at that time. And leftover blank flags will be available for our children first to create their own peace flag, their prayer flag, when they come into church on the 19th, and then we will open them up for the congregation to do on a Sunday morning for those who didn't get a chance to come in. And we know that's a really short time, but our staff is working from home, and we do have staff on vacation and staff out on leave, medical leave. So we're going to keep it sweet and simple, everyone. And I don't know about you guys, but if I had been in my prayer consciousness that I had 10 years ago, I would have found the last years to be really challenging to be in prayer. Anyone else having a hard time with prayer right now? Yeah, I think so. And it's when we're able to totally make that shift from praying to have something happen, something outer, and praying outer to make that happen, to pray from the source of divinity within me, to hold space for the greatest and highest possibility for a person and for an experience based on what that soul needs. When I do that way, it changes how I perceive the situation. And I can perceive the situation, and the spiritual bias, it is perceiving a situation from that higher spiritual level. That doesn't mean better. It could be the wider spiritual level, a greater perspective. And so I see things not just what it looks like in the physical outer world, which looks beautiful, doesn't it? I mean, right now, it just doesn't look in the world. But what else is going on at the spiritual level? What can you envision? And in meditation, can you ask, what that this population, our people are saying yes to it at a soul level that we're not aware of? Because sometimes when large populations of people are leaving the earth, leaving their physical body, it's for a different reason than what we think. It may show up as this bug is creating it. 20 years ago, we had a whole group of people go psh, as a plane crashed into buildings on purpose. And all these people went psh. But was there something else besides that happened in that moment? And so it's being in the question. Am I willing to question, is there a greater something going on? Something I don't have any idea of in this physical body at this level of perception. And so I invite you to take that with you a little bit as you go, I don't even want to pray. It doesn't work. And I've been there. I remember Dad getting really sick. He had a stroke, and I remember walking out of the hospital going, God, just fix him. And I'm in my third year of seminary. I'm ready to graduate, and I'm laughing at myself going, and that doesn't work quite that way, Judy, right? But when we are in such grief, and I would say grief is pretty palpable right now, that I don't know too many people who haven't had contact with someone who has lost someone, or you haven't lost someone that is very close to you. And so no matter how hard we have prayed for them, it maybe didn't turn out the way we wanted. And so for those of you who are praying for someone now, we do pray for them, and we hold that space for healing, and we hold it wide open, and we help them see that they can activate the divine within to create the healing within their body that we know can happen. And we can also know that there might be something else at work with the soul, that it's maybe the soul saying, yeah, this is how I'm going to choose to leave because I need to move on. And that's a hard one to take in. So we'll talk about it a little more. We're going to do some work with prayer with our spirit groups in October. They'll be working with touching the stillness, and I'll be doing some prayer. We'll be doing some prayer pieces from up on the platform just to dive into it deeper, because I think it may have been a really hard thing to have held on to this last year and a half. All right? So you're not alone if you're struggling with that. All right? And we can open it up maybe and shift what prayer is and what prayer isn't. So with that being said, I think we get to prepare for meditation now. So John, if you want to come on back up.
Despite the doom and gloom, remember that our affirmation is, I am shouting yes to life. L'chaim. This is a toast shouted at Jewish weddings and other special occasions, and it means to life in Hebrew. It celebrates the joy of those who are gathered together very palpably. And I would invite you in that same spirit to take a moment now and prepare for our time of meditation. Let's place ourselves, as we are able, in a comfortable sitting position with our feet on the ground and our hands in front of us or at our sides. And slowly breathe in and out. In and out. And let's turn within for the guidance Spirit furnishes us in our many endeavors. Let us enjoy this time in silence. Now, as our time of silence comes to a close, I want you to become aware of your breath. Let's take note of our surroundings and slowly, comfortably, return to our morning service. And whether we vocally or silently shout it, we say yes to life.
You are pure potential, yearning to express. Your soul already knows. Your soul already knows. Connect to your soul's wisdom, let go of the rest. Your soul already knows. Your soul already knows. Oh, trust your beautiful soul. Let go. Let your life's light shine your home. You are a blessing made for miracles. You are so dear. You are important and your soul is welcome here. Happiness and peace reside within your heart. Your soul already knows. Your soul already knows. You have the courage to take action, the clarity to start. Your soul already knows. Your soul already knows. Oh, trust your beautiful soul. Let go. Let your life's light shine your home. You are a blessing made for miracles. You are so dear. You are important and your soul is welcome here. Trust your beautiful soul. Trust what you already know. Trust your beautiful soul to guide your home. Trust your beautiful soul. Let go. Let your life's light shine you home. You are a blessing made for miracles. You are so dear. You are important and your soul is needed here. You're welcome here. Oh, oh, your soul is clear. Oh, 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 you're welcome here. Oh, 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 you're needed here.
Just trying to find it. Where's it hiding at? Yeah, who knows? So we are continuing our work with the book, 1 Degree South of God. Just want to make sure Dan's awake up there and moving the camera around. So poems that kind of meant something to us. There's a poem at the beginning of each chapter, and this is actually, and we had talked last week, this is download at work from the group called Rama. And we don't usually work a lot with that in Unity. It's kind of not in the container that we teach from. But there's really good stuff in here that runs pretty parallel to our teachings. And the poems took us someplace. So the poem today is called Steady. Find the steadiest place in you. When you are steady, all of your senses are heightened and expanded. When you are steady, the sweetness of life becomes electric. When you are steady, colors become magnificent. When you are steady, each soul is an equal part of a full dance. When you are steady, you can bend, resolve, bounce back. When you are steady, the world becomes a kaleidoscope of experience. When you are steady, there are awesome heights of knowing. When you are steady, you can be ecstatic, brilliant, fire of joy. Because when you are steady, there's no hunger for more than what is here. So sit now and be a steady soul in your higher nature. And I am going to move you out of your steadiness. Because sometimes we have to know the opposite before we can know what we're really looking for. So this is activity time. So I'm going to invite you to start with nothing in your lap. There's a chair next to you or under your chair. And I'm going to invite you to just sit in your chair, nice and comfortable. Closing your eyes, feeling the steadiness of your seated position. Trusting the world to hold you, or at least trusting the chair to hold you. And in this moment, nothing else matters. Your body feels stronger, and your body feels steady. Your mind can focus on how you are feeling while being steady. Your emotions are balanced in this second, in this steadiness. You can be aware of your breath in this pose. Notice how it feels. All right, so open your eyes, and now it's time to shift your steadiness. And we're not being girls here, okay? So when you feel your first wobble, that's when you're in your last pose, and after that, you're going to just have a seat and observe. So I invite you to stand up where you are able to hold onto a chair in front of you or a chair beside you, just so you can reach with your fingers and touch something that is steady. Okay, and that's for everybody to have something. And if standing and holding on to something creates wobbliness for you, sit back down, and that's okay. So now as you're standing with a chair that you're in contact with, observe your body. Are there places where it's contracted? Places where there's wobbliness? Or are you steady? Is your mind focused? Or is it fluttering about like flies on an uncovered picnic lunch? Or is it completely still and empty? Observe your emotions. Maybe those you have buried, those you're trying to bury this morning, and those which just want to erupt into existence. Be aware of your breath in this pose. And so if you are steady, without wobbliness in this pose, stay. If you found some wobbliness, especially as we talked about emotions or something, then sit back down. And now we go to the next pose. I invite you to stand with your feet wide. Hands on the chair as needed. Body as straight as possible. Eyes open and focused on a spot that is not moving, unlike me, so don't watch me. And at home, you need to be doing this. Can you sense heightened awareness? Are you aware of life around you? Are you able to observe your body, your mind, and your emotions in this steadiness? Be aware of the breath in this pose. And if you're good, we move on to the next one. If there was some wobbliness, sit down. Next one, bring your feet completely together. Big toes slightly touching each other. Hands on the chair if you need it. Body as straight as possible. Eyes open and focused on a spot that is not moving. Can you still sense the heightened awareness in your body? Are you aware of life around you? Are you able to observe your body, your mind, and your emotions? Can you be aware of breath? Good, stay up. If you're a little wobbly, go ahead and stand. And this time, same pose, toes are together, fingers are on a chair in front of you, and I invite you to rise up on your toes. And now in this pose, as you balance on your toes, balance on your toes. Are you aware of your body? Yes. Are you aware of your mind? Are you aware of your emotions? Are you aware of your breath? If being up a pose created wobbliness, go ahead and sit down. So I'm sitting down. If not, I invite you to do one more. Shake it off. Take your hands off the chair. Bring one foot to your other calf. Lift it up. Arms up. Temple up high. Wooden heels. And if you can hold it, can you focus? Can you focus on anything besides your wobbliness? All right, and sit back. So that was our, as a group, you're at home, you're still doing, keep going. You can start blowing in the breeze then. You can get your foot all the way up to your thigh, wiggle in the breeze. But what happened to your mind when your body was no longer set? Were you able to be aware of this? Were you, except for maybe the person next to you, also wobbling all over? Were you able to be aware of your emotions that you were pushing under? You were of the struggle that you came in with? Or did all of that go because you were just wobbly and you couldn't even hold a thought? So in life, if we can find steadiness before we move, we can be able to see the greater perspective. If we're wobbling all over in our mind, in our life, we get a real distorted picture because we get a picture that comes out of this, the shakiness. So can you find steadiness? And the best way to find steadiness would be, what do you think? Meditation, absolutely. The best way is to find it through meditation. Does it have to be a sitting still, cross-legged meditation? No, it can be a moving meditation. One of the best meditations I've done is the one where you slowly pick a foot up. Heel touches first. You rock to the full foot. Then you slowly bring the other foot up. Knee up high. Heel down first. Roll it forward. If you do that for 15 steps, your mind will become so focused that it will drop into that silence. So I invite you to find some way to give your mind that chance to drop into silence. And we talk about it every Sunday here, but we really don't talk about ways to do it. So that walking meditation would be one way. I would have something to hold on to if you're not used to doing it. Like line up about 4 chairs so that you've got chairs. Eyes stay open and you focus on the spot. But it helps you find steadiness. And when you find a steadiness and you start to do it more, you become very aware that the universe is there to support you. And as you begin to trust that more and more, the outer happenings, the things that seem so horrible, don't shake you. They don't put you into wobbles. And it's easier then. It's just easier to be present. And your energy doesn't go out into every place else, and then you're drained. How many of you listened to news the last 3 or 4 days? And how many of you found yourself tired afterwards? Yes, yes. So I'm beginning to think that the less I turn on the television and the radio, the better off I am. And I find that if I turn it on once a week, usually in 15 minutes, I can catch up on everything that happened anyway. And then I've only got one day of the week when I'm kind of from it. Because even the speed of the talking, the pitch of the talking is so different. If you go back and look at old TV shows, like from my childhood, it's like really old TV shows, the speech is slower, the vibration, the pitch, the highness, the resonance is lower. It's easier to listen to. And it doesn't matter what the words are, the way it sounds is gentler and smoother than what we listen to now. What we listen to now is very chopped, very high pitched, and very, very fast. And it just goes, and it takes a lot of energy if we're trying to listen to that. And if we've got that on a lot, it's a lot of energy. And it creates wobbliness instead of steadiness. So I invite you to just play with this, because I have found that the steadier I have become, the more able I am to say yes to life. And not because my life has been wonderful and everything I want shows up. For those of you who know that in 2 weeks I was supposed to retire, and I'm not. And Kathy did a presentation last week during a mini lesson that you can catch online about her taking some time away for about 5 or 6 weeks now to do some healing work and just completely release things at the church so that she can focus on that. And so after she comes back, we'll determine what's what, but I'm probably not retiring at all until the end of the year when the new minister comes in. So as my life changes, and I've had plans since I was 8 years old to do this trip around the world, and I was ready to be on the plane September 15th, and that's not happening. So even with all of those types of disappointments, and there's like, oh, but look at all these other things I get to do. And that steadiness of knowing I'm fully supported and something as good or better will show up. So I invite you to that. And it was real interesting. This book kind of, I don't know how it moved, but it moved in my house yesterday, and I kind of tripped over it. It like fell off the shelf. So, and when I opened it, the page I opened to was, what do I say yes to in my life? I go, okay, so she asked, this is from Randy Craig Purcell, who's the minister at Unity of San Diego. If you open your calendar, your checkbook, and your credit card statement, you will see an important picture of what you are saying yes to in your life. So I invite you, when you balance your checkbook this month or look at your accounts at the end of this month, look at what have you been saying yes to in life. We vote with how we spend our dollars and how we spend our time. What do you agree to in your life through both your words and actions? What do you say yes to? So think about that as you play this month with your finances. And as I look at this week when I'm going, okay, Kathy's going to definitely take time off, and I'm kind of going to take on most of her stuff, and we invite everybody to be patient with all of us, as we also are trying to give all of our staff vacation time, because last year they didn't take it, and we're over halfway through, and we've got staff who still hasn't taken vacation yet. So Lori's been out this week and be out part of next week, and Terry's working away to be able to take off for several weeks. So we're making sure we want to take care of our staff here. But I laughed last week as several job-related things came up. And I remember doing my internship here in 2011. And I was sitting in that front row next to Joel, and he said, pay attention. And Reverend Joel was the minister who was here for 36, 37 years. And he got up here and he went, all right, folks, the air conditioner is broken. I'm going to stand here and wait until you guys come up with the money to pay for it today. And then he just stood there. Afterwards, he said, nah, just stand there and wait. You just wait. He stood there for like 10 minutes. I'm going, all right, I'm never doing that. And so here I am. I'm standing here, and for everybody out at home too. So you know when you take home ownership, there's always a month when it feels like everything breaks. Yeah, or if you've got a car, it's like it's not just one little thing, it's like. So we've had that here this summer. And just want to be very transparent about it. And I'm not going to stand here in silence for 10 minutes. I'm not that brave yet. But anyway, I don't have that many minutes. So, but I do want you to have a picture, because as a community, you said yes to owning buildings. And I'm so grateful that you have, because it's given us a home, a church home. But for you to know, the largest pine tree out in the back had a huge infestation. This is my understanding. This is the latest knowledge that I have of it. And I could be wrong, but does have a pine infestation. And so half that tree is dead. The other half is solid and needs to be treated for a few bugs, but it is solid. This half has to come down before it comes down on its own and takes out fence and building and everything with it. So we've got donations for, I believe, almost all of that have come in. We're so grateful. Because of where it's located, we have to bring a crane in to lift it up as it gets chopped down, or otherwise it takes out buildings with it. So it's an expensive, painful expense. And then the next thing, as you could tell, our technology is having some challenges. And we've had a group in multiple times to play with it and help us. But we do have some pieces that need to be updated to be able to handle when we have more than just a speaker using a mic, when we've got guitars plugged in, when we've got multiple things going on, where we're trying to switch back and forth for people who are seeing us online. So the next piece that really has to be upgraded is about a $2,000 piece. And so we're working towards gathering money for that. And as you see our little chart, in creating tomorrow our capital campaign, that's a 3-year campaign that goes through May next year. This part and this part would cover all of the loans from when the building roof collapsed in 2014. And we expanded the building out. And you were here before, so you know that it looks real different. We didn't have any windows in here. It was like a dark, I called it my dark coffin. Anyway, so as this fills up, the rest of the loans, and we've got 1.5 loans to pay back. We have paid back all the rest of them at this point. Then this amount is all directed towards upgrading AV, upgrading technology, and upgrading some salaries for staff that have not had salary increases for over 5 years, and they came in underpaid to begin with. So they have stayed with us, and we would love for them to continue because they are amazing staff. So that's where that money goes to. And we've got one more. Oh, yes. That air conditioner that Joel stood up here and said, it's really hot in here. Well, the back half of the building is really hot. The air conditioner finally died. It was the last of the 9, 10, 11, however many air conditioners we've got in the 2 buildings. It was the last one that will be replaced. And then it could start the cycle again, but it is the oldest one we have, and it is no longer functional. So the bathrooms are hot, yes. And that's why, and we're not going to rush, I don't think, to get that replaced, but it does need to be replaced at some point in the not too distant future. So I may have taken board member of the day's pieces, but she knew I was going to talk a little bit to it. So in the steadiness as a community, we know there is steadiness is being in a flow. So as you find your steadiness, then you start to find your movement, you start to find your flow. That's what's taught in yoga, actually. Find steadiness in a pose. And so if you've got your pose and you're nice and steady, then you start the movement in it. Then you start to twist. Then you start to move with it. And then you move into the next pose and you just keep the flow, but it's steady and you're grounded. So when you are steady and grounded, you start to step into the flow of abundance. And that flow of abundance, we do that by participating, by not hoarding, and I'm not saying not saving, I'm saying not hoarding, and by knowing that as we share, it comes back around in greater ways. So I invite you to look at that spiritual practice and see if you are steady enough to jump in a little bit deeper maybe. And if you know that you are fully supported by this universe. And so I say a little bit of homework is to watch your steadiness this week. And have a wonderful and blessed week, everyone. Thank you.
And now I get to do the sales job. Actually, I find it a great blessing and honor to get to be back with you in person. It's just amazing. We're a thinner group, but there's lots of you out there online, at home, and we're so grateful for all of you. And there are many ways to financially support this beautiful, loving, spiritual community that we are part of. We can do it indirectly through Amazon affiliate website links by adding Unity Church of the East Valley as your favorite charity. And I love that it's on Smile Amazon, and I love that they give you feedback about how much you have given to the church with every purchase you make on there. It's one of those positive feedback loops. Also, Fry's Rewards is another way to do that. You can give through credit, debit, card payments in the bookstore. And then we have an online Give Plus app, and we have some news on that for you. Vanco is the app provider for Give Plus, and they are updating and changing, actually eliminating Give Plus, and it's morphing over to Vanco. And the way to get to that is Vanco Mobile Faith Engagement on either Google Play or Apple App Store. Either way, you can download the new app. Members won't be able to give, we won't be able to use that Give Plus app after September 30th this year, obviously. Vanco Mobile is free, and it includes many significant upgrades for the users. They say it looks really nice, and it's very friendly. Members' logon credentials in Vanco Mobile are the same as your Give Plus mobile app, and the reoccurring gifts will continue. You don't have to go in and make any changes to reschedule those. Those will keep coming. So that's the ways to give. All your gifts are greatly, greatly appreciated. And so now let's just drop in for a minute and know that God is the source of all our abundance. We know that abundance is not something we attract, it's something we step into. When we give thanks and are grateful for what we have and what we give, we open ourselves to more abundance. And as we give, knowing the needs of this community, Judy graciously listed a few that are needed for this beautiful building that we hope everybody will be able to join us back in, or at least come visit once it's safe again. We know that we want to support it with our talent, our time, and our treasures to continue to support the teachings of the Christ, our higher consciousness, to reach all who are open to the truth through the work of this ministry. Now, let's take our gifts in our hands and our hearts and our minds, remembering we are stepping into our abundance. And we dedicate and concentrate these gifts through a greatest expression of spirit through the work of this ministry. And together we say our offering blessing, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we are so grateful for the gifts, and even more so grateful for the givers. Thank you, God.
What a beautiful day here with you all today. I do have a concert tomorrow online. You're all welcome to join. It is World Goddess Day tomorrow, so I'll be offering goddess songs in celebration. I wrote this song very shortly after the tragic events of 9/11. It's called We'll Always Sing. Today, let's do that in the right key. Today has been an eerie day, an empty day for truth. And though it's ending in confusion, I feel much closer to you. I do not know your name, I don't know where you're from, but I've seen this city take its toll. Now I understand my purpose here. A new roar, I'll always sing. My highest, I'll always dance the night away. I'll always fly to freedom. My heart beats on as long as there are drums to play. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. sorrow, I will stop my grief. I'll not crumble in fear. All you healers, stay down with me until peace that we can get. No longer the living luxury of reveling in the fight. But now we understand our purpose here as in holding light. We'll always sing the highest. We'll always dance the night away. We'll always fly to freedom. Our hearts beat on as long as there are drums to play. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll always sing our highest. We'll always dance the night away. We'll always fly to freedom. Our hearts beat on as long as there are drums to play. Oh, yeah. 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 We'll always sing our highest. We'll always dance the night away. We'll always fly to freedom. Our hearts beat on as long as there are drums to play. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! Thank you. I've enjoyed this so much. So, want you to know Celia has CDs in the back, and all of our musicians have really had a struggle during COVID because all of their performances got shut down. So, if you enjoyed her music, please support her. And Lori Lewis is our new Artist of the Month, and she has new pictures hanging in the family room, and she is generously contributing sales from those pictures towards our maintenance fund, our building fund. And so we thank you very much for that offer. And we know abundance is in this community. So enjoy fellowship after service, either in the sanctuary or in the family room, or you can try outside, but I think it's getting pretty warm quickly. Chaplains are available. And then the bookstore. Bookstore's open. Chaplains are available for one-on-one prayer, and Sharon has her soul on, and John's chaplain also. Please feel free to just tap one of them on the shoulder and say, can you hold prayer with me? I have something that I'm struggling with, or I want to celebrate and pray, give praise and prayer. And together, we're going to do a prayer for protection. I'm not going to forget this week, so if we'd like to imagine holding hands with those next to us. And together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a beautiful day, and hold space and prayer space for the right and perfect minister as we start to be ready to receive applications. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.